When I think of Srebrenica, um, I think of the sheer magnitude of this event that over 8,000 men and boys were murdered, that over 8,300 men and boys were murdered in July of 1995. I think of the women and girls who were raped, of the countless civilians who were starved knowingly, intentionally, even as the world sent them food. But I think most about the accounts I have read, the accounts of what the journalist Misha Glenny once called the camaraderie of opposing merchants of slaughter. He witnessed military leaders from opposing sides of the Bosnian War as they spoke to one another, laughed with one another, even as the soldiers they were leading killed at their command, killed and more. I think of those who did the killing, who were being lied to and propagandized within an inch of their lives, such that they believed that they were the ones under attack, that they were defending themselves. Because in my experience, this is generally how atrocities work. It is extremely rare to find that the person wielding the gun or wielding the machete believes that they are the aggressor. In every case I have encountered, the person wielding the gun, wielding the machete, believes that they are defending themselves because someone is telling them very convincingly that they are. And I know you might argue that people know the real truth, that they know deep down what is propaganda and what is not. I know Jabir and I have discussed this before, and it's true that in places like Rwanda, that those who were wielding the machetes, you will find people who say that they knew deep down not to believe hate radio, that they knew deep down what they were doing, and they acted anyway. And I'm sure you find this in every conflict, but it isn't always the case. It is often not the case. And you see this again and again, this tactic of accusation in a mirror, a tactic that was used in Nazi Germany, in Rwanda, and in Bosnia that amounts to accusing your enemies of exactly the atrocity that you intend to commit against them. So that your soldiers and sometimes even ordinary people in the thrall of this propaganda will do that very thing that the enemy has been accused of, that people will slaughter, will rape, and will starve, all for revenge they believe they have a right to seek. When I think of Srebrenica, I think of the thousands today who believe it never happened, that it was exaggerated, that it was all a plot. I think about how susceptible we all are to such thinking. We must be susceptible to this kind of thinking, or such crimes and such denial of crimes wouldn't happen again and again. It's very difficult to know what to do when every human has the potential of becoming an aggressor just as much as they might become a victim. But this is why human rights norms are so important. These are the norms that tell us we don't commit genocide, we don't rape, we don't starve, we don't murder wounded soldiers, we don't murder those we believe could become soldiers, we don't send people to jail forever without a trial, we don't practice collective punishment or an eye for an eye. We don't do these things, even if we believe that the person in question that might want to do these things to has committed those very crimes. The list of things we do not do goes on, and it's there for all of us because we all need limits. We need limits to the horrors we could suffer. We need limits to the horrors we can inflict as a result of our conflicts, of our misunderstandings, and of our own imperfect humanity.